There we go. All right. Let's get going. 5, 4. Welcome back to the Unanimous Decision Podcast. Start again. Welcome back to the Unanimous Decision Podcast. I am your host, D Palm. Follow me on Blue Sky, Instagram, all the socials at DPalm66. Follow the show at UDPod. Follow the entire MTR network. You guessed it, the MTR network. You found us. Don't you dare lose us. Subscribe on iTunes. Subscribe on Spotify. Subscribe everywhere at your podcast for free $99. You can find this podcast also on YouTube. That's right, YouTube. Dragging this podcast into 2015, one episode at a time. Brought to you by the good folks at the MTR network. Make sure you check out all of our offerings, including new episodes of the Insanity Check and our back issue bins, including character corners on things like Daredevil. Don't know why I would say that. But also we're brought to you by DanielPaulMortgages.com. If you can afford your rent, you can afford your mortgage. It is my job to help you qualify. So good to be back, guys. So good to have you guys listening to me, and excited to have our guest here today. Without any further ado, from MCU later, from everywhere across the internet, from here more than not. What up, Rich? How you doing, man?
Pretty good. As I said before we got started, I'm currently in a overthinking spiral because I'm searching for my earbuds. And it's funny because I even hit it while you were doing your intro. And I was like, okay, maybe I just was dumb and I put it somewhere. But nope, it's somewhere within 150 feet of me. I just got to figure out where they are. So they're probably in the bushes.
Focus on how satisfied you're going to be once you find them. You're going to be super happy like the second that it gets into your hand. But I had a whole bunch of stuff. I have a whole rundown of things to talk about. You brought up something that I completely forgot about. The NFL draft is coming to Pittsburgh, and I am so sorry.
Yeah. I just got a text from my mother-in-law, and
oh, no.
I usually wouldn't do this, but I'm gonna do it because people gotta know. So I texted her to let her know my wife has a conference next week for her firm. She didn't tell me until 17 minutes ago. So she's like, you got to take Trey to school from school while also me going to my job during the day.
Yes.
And so I was going to tag in my mother-in-law, as I'm wont to do in these situations. And she said, make sure she knows I'm not coming anywhere near Pittsburgh for those days. Just ridiculous. So that means
Smart
I'm
woman.
alone.
Smart woman.
This is Gotham. They blew up the bridges.
No,
ironically, Pittsburgh also was Gotham when Bane blew up the bridges. And yeah, this is like 1 year later. Man, I'm just on my own. Me and this 14-year-old looking at each other in the eyes like, how we get here, dog?
Time to go to work.
Yep.
But let's be real, man. How is the effect of this circus descending upon your sound? Because I want people to know, Rich and I are men of a certain age. I'm old enough to remember when the draft was a one-day event.
Yep.
And at some point, the NFL looked up and said, oh, wait, if we start selling this bigger and make it bigger, we can make some real money off of this. And I don't say in my lifetime. I mean, when I had a job, I had my own place. I would go and sit at Black Bear Tavern off of Peachtree and with my buddies and watch the draft. It was something we did on a Saturday. It was a great way to spend a day, but it was a day. And now it's turned into this sprawling traveling circus. Have I told you the story of why it travels now?
No.
I've told it on the podcast. I'm going to tell it to you, and I'm going to tell it again because every year this story needs to be told. Because we all think of the NFL as this huge machine, this monolith, this thing that could never be denied or pushed aside. But it was 2 CBAs ago. I think it was a 2011 CBA. The league year shifted within the contract. And so all the league business, there was one dead week that for some reason the days didn't line up. And in that time, you had to book Radio City for the draft. And they didn't. And James Dolan booked the Rockettes. And that was the first year they took the draft on the road. Out of sheer bureaucratic incompetence. And now it's ruining your life next week. I just want you to know that is...
Well, not only is it ruining my life, they now lord it over people as some economic cudgel because they say, okay, we're never going to give you a Super Bowl, but we'll give you a draft. And this guarantees X amount of money, X hundreds of thousands of people. I can tell you that most of the folks in Pittsburgh, just so folks can hear, even the difference between when the draft was in Kansas City versus Green Bay versus Pittsburgh. In Kansas City, the theater stage they had set up is right along the train line. So you still have electric transit. You have your regular transit. Everything was fine. You could exist around the draft. You have a lot
Logistically,
more
it made
people.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's one of their nicest areas that's been renovated, like the electric area there in Kansas City. Green Bay, they don't have black barbers. They had the flat folks in anyway. So it's like, hey, it's just new people we get to alienate for 2-3 days. We're fine. Green Bay was fine. Pittsburgh, as I try to explain to folks, historically, if you're not aware, Pittsburgh is a town that folks, big Pittsburgh's taking me out. Hold on a second. My camera just died, but I can still talk. Big Pittsburgh is one of those situations where they don't have the infrastructure of a Philly or a New York. It is entirely set up to be you just figure it out. Like our version of a train in Pittsburgh is dealing with a line that goes from the stadium to downtown and back, and that's it. And
so there's just basically no infrastructure in place to handle this at all, is what you're saying.
Well, that's the first problem. We don't have a subway. The subway only goes 3 stops. So that's useless. The buses, as of next Wednesday, will be on a Saturday schedule for the entire week. For those of you unaware, in a city, when it's on Saturday schedule, they're saying, y'all aren't working, we ain't riding. So that means regular folks who want to get tips, who have to be the person you see offering you the beer and giving you the other stuff, they got to figure out a way to get to work. And as I told Palm, you're parking in spots that used to be anywhere from $5 to $23 a day at $50 a day Wednesday, $100 plus minimum Thursday and beyond.
This is also, and like I know this is hard for you guys, and I do understand that. This also feels like Pittsburgh being like dragged into the 21st century. It's like, oh wait, these things are going to cost a lot of money to do in the park places.
Listen, there was a person who did like a study when I was in grad school. If Pittsburgh had spent like I think it was like call it $1 million, 100 and some odd years ago to build a railway system, would have been Gucci. They went cheap, and now it's going to be several $1 billion. That's never happening in my lifetime.
Let's also talk about
Bruce Wayne to come in.
The chokehold that the automotive lobby has in the country. But I was going to talk about NFL because I wanted to ask you if your hometown Steelers are actually doing this again with Aaron Rodgers. Like that was the only question I had in the NFL. But I still have to ask, like, boots on the ground, what are people saying about this? Because this can't be seen as a good idea.
Oh no, this is entirely. I mean, they made the decision to get White Mike, as he's known in the streets, and they decided to bring him in. He says he likes working with the youth. He likes bringing them up, and then he's like, Aaron, please come back. Aaron, where you going? Aaron, we'll let you come in June.
I hope y'all like 3-step slant game.
Yeah, I mean, look who they just traded for. Because now you got DK Metcalf on one side, and God help you on the other. Because it's gonna be wild. I mean, for the Steelers, I have looked at this as, for me, Michael Pittman is going to be fine.
Yeah.
He's going to be fine. He's going to be Slant Boy 2.0. For those who know, if you know, you know. And DK is just going to run that battleship north and south. Run some love of the game routes.
Oh, DK's big ass is going to be running some slants too. Like that's what everybody needs to get used to. Learn how to speak slant, buddy. Like it's Mike McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers, and they did that when he had more physical talent. When he wasn't broken shell of a man. If they run back this Aaron Rodgers thing, like that's almost like I see why Tom was like, I can't do this shit no more. No, get me out of here.
And you see how happy he is?
I haven't.
His daughter trying out for the Olympics.
I haven't seen him anywhere.
Oh, the only place he is that dad in the crowd silently praising his daughter as she tries out for the Olympics as a gymnast.
Good for him.
And his wife has the clothing line. They're making good money there. They're happy. Dino is doing all right.
They're good on money. Well deserved for him. I hope he's enjoying every second of it. And I thank God he doesn't have to deal with Aaron Rodgers.
No.
Before we get into more sports, I want to talk about MCU later, man. We're in the middle of a Daredevil Born Again season.
Yeah.
How's it been going on the podcast? What are you guys thinking about the show so far?
Well, I mean, so far so good, so great. Because it's gonna be two things. You got season 3 already pre-announced, and people are leaking photos because my co-host on the show, WH Park, can't stand Finn, and seeing Finn in anywhere near a set, he might need to be on a watch list if he ever finds him.
See, and that's not the one of them I have a problem with.
Well, really?
Oh, it's the other one I can't stand. That's the other one I can't stand.
Oh,
I don't think he can act. I don't think he can act at all. Like, you can say you didn't like the portrayal of Danny Rand, but it's fine. But like, I believe the actor was doing things. Mike Coulter, no, I can't. I can't. I read Luke Cage comics. That's not Luke Cage.
That's Mike's interpretation of Luke Cage, and it is rough.
It's the brother. Get him some Bendis. Get him some shit. Like,
it's. I mean, and I know he can act because I saw Evil. He's better in Evil, and I'm like, how could you
take your word for it? I'll never watch him anything again if it's not Marvel. He has done irreparable damage to his own personal brain with me. This man, no.
Yeah,
he's black and he's got the bald head. Like, make him Luke Cage. I'm like, no,
don't do it. But yeah, I mean, the series has been good, and I like the fact that they have a secret little season finale tacked in with Frank's one last kill.
Mm-hmm.
And having that as something we're going to review. Looking forward to having you on.
I don't even think it's a season finale. We saw Frank get out at the end of season 1.
Yep.
I think we do the entire season of seeing no Frank.
Yep.
And I think that this is here's what's happening with Frank when this shit's going on, so that you can set him up to put him in position for the big tentpole movie.
Yes.
I think it's connective tissue more than an epilogue.
Now, what do you think about the fact, because we talked about this, and I'm very pleased personally, the fact that he's taken more of a creative, because it's turned into more like Max Payne Frank than Shoot 'em Up Frank, which is a departure from what we've seen in the past.
It's not Frank. I mean, it's not Frank, but it's
Barenthal's Frank.
That I will understand and get behind, because it is truly an interpretation of the character that is dramatically toned down. Comics Frank is nuts, guys.
And I think honestly, Palm, given like watching Born Again, especially season 2, it's such a mirror to what's going on in the real world. Having Frank have to face the consequences of his actions is something that some of those folks who drive around with Punisher decals need to see. And I think that's why Barenthal's kind of approaching it this way, because when you watch him at outside of the conventions where he has to be nice to people, when folks bring up the Punisher and they're doing it in the, oh, bro, we're alphas, he destroys that real quick.
Yeah, it's a misunderstanding of the character, but I think that it's interesting that he's taken such a hands-on role with it, because it allows him to kind of make sure those things aren't ironed out, aren't taken out in the wash of the editing. But let's talk sports, man, because when I talked to you to bring you on the podcast, it was like, hey, ain't talked to the homie Rich in a while. Want to make sure he's doing well, see how he's going to, I guess, survive the draft. But more than anything, I just want to catch up ahead of the playoffs. And at that time, you and I had no contention here.
Jesus, I forgot about that.
There was no issue, dog. Like when I said, hey, man, let's chat, you're like, bam, let's do it. And then all of a sudden, the Hawks dropped a 6, and now you got to come see about us.
Yeah.
And hold on. And now you got to come see about us, because for the first time in my long life, I'm cheering for the team that no one wants to see in the playoffs.
They got nothing to lose. Again, they're
lose, and they're so good.
They're friggin'. I don't need Rorschach. I'm not. You're not locked in. I'm locked in with you right now.
Y'all are trash.
And I don't need the little, like, if this is a role playing game, I don't need the tabletop dice roll for Cat whether or not he decides he wants to play. That is over 6 games. It's ideal.
And it's not just like that. It's this again. And the last time was Trae Young doing mean things to your hearts. It's the fact that all y'all had this season was expectations. What did we hear all off season? Knicks tape, bing bong, all this shit. Rubber hit the road. Y'all realize Mike Brown's actually still just Mike Brown.
Yeah.
Cat's actually still just Cat.
Yeah.
Cat and Julius Irving, Cat and nobody got traded for each other, and neither team thinks they can win with the guy. Like, it is ridiculous.
You know what the secret sauce of my
And
annoyance
now,
is with all this?
and now, what?
The fact that we traded 3 first-round picks for Bridges, and those picks could have been used to get Giannis, who is currently being held hostage at an undisclosed facility.
We're going to talk about that in a second, because the taking hostage is a very Knicks fan-centric way to look at that. That is a very generous
I'm just trying to free my man up.
That's a very generous, I want you to come here approach. That's some thirsty shit. I'll talk about you in a second. Now, let me make something very clear, dog. There's not a team in this league who's been doing it realer since the break than the Hawks. No one wanted you to see us, and now you have to. So this may be a longer 2 weeks for you than you thought. May it be the draft and me all up in your ass, because guess what? This will not be the NBA TV series. That's whatever the Raptors are doing. That no one's gonna watch.
No one.
Sorry, Raptors.
My friend
That
Gina,
means
who's a
This is
Raptors,
gonna be on
the one
TV,
Raptors
man.
fan.
This is gonna be on TV.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now, are the playoffs on NBC as well, or is it just
I think
ESPN?
I think they're on NBC. I have to look into it. That's something I don't know.
Because I want to hear the music, but I also don't want to hear the music.
Because I am
much trauma response.
As someone who is happily out of the play-in this weekend is not my problem. It's a good place to be. It hasn't happened in a while for the Hawks. So it's a good place to be. Before we get any more of the NBA, I do want to ask about something else, because you brought up Milwaukee. God bless you. So I want to talk about a man by the name of Glenn Rivers.
Mm.
Now, if you're new to this show, for the record, this is episode 399. That's wild to me. It's fucking crazy. If you're new to this show, I have a long-standing personal and professional, widely defendable distaste for Doc Rivers. I'm not going to go through the whole oeuvre of Doc Rivers being a bad basketball coach, but I do want to point something out, Rich.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember who the coach of the Bucks was before Glenn took over?
Wasn't that I was gonna. I can't repeat.
It's Adrian Griffin.
There we go.
Yes, that Adrian Griffin. His first NBA head coaching gig. His only NBA coaching gig. They brought in Doc Rivers. The team did, to advise Adrian Griffin on how to be a first-time head coach. He advised him all the way into him getting fired so that Doc could take over. Do you know what Adrian Griffin's record was when they fired him?
Probably like 3 wins better than Doc right now.
Oh, sir. 3 is hilarious.
Oh,
He
no.
was 30-13. Do you know Doc's record when they fired him? 97-103. With that information laid in front of you, Richard, I want to ask you a serious question.
Mm-hmm.
Can you coach your way out of the Hall of Fame?
I don't think you can, because the media likes a good story, and sticking the money in the rafters and saying we got to win in order to get it back is something that'll be in his annals forever.
So, on the strength of assembling a team with Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and Ray Allen, and winning not 0, not 2, but 1 fucking ring, I've got to hear Doc Rivers Hall of Famer for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
they're gonna do it's the combo. It's like the combo meal, because they're giving him a little bit as a player. They're giving him
as a player. Look at his numbers. Yeah, I got eyes. He's a hawk. I remember these things.
Dang.
I'll tell you what's really happening here. You hit a nail on the head. You said the media, because doing media made him a good, safe coaching hire for when you're a GM and you want to say, hey, look, I've got a talented group of guys, and I think this guy can get him over a hump. I'm going to hire Doc Rivers. It's defensible. We all love him because he's done media for us. So let's bring him in. And they bring him in, and Doc never seems to get over that, second round hump. And guess what? There's a pattern through all this because it'll always be someone else's fucking fault. It'll never be Doc's fault. Introspection, not here, kids. And then they'll fire him. They'll part ways with him. He'll take a sabbatical. He's going to step away from the game. You know what he does immediately after that, Rich? He goes back to being on TV, rubbing elbows and making people forget about what happened the last time he was in charge of some shit. They do that long enough, and they say, hey, man, why don't you come be an advisor to our first-time coach so that he can figure out this job? Oh, wait, you advised him into unemployment and then took his fucking job? Doc Rivers.
I saw a report that said that they might be considering him taking on an advisory role as part of his exit. And I was like, didn't you just...
That's how we got here.
Dude.
If the goal is to keep him off TV, bravo. But as I recall, he was on TV and doing the advisor thing before you made him your head coach this was previous time. You idiots. But because you brought up the other half of the Bucks thing, can I ask you a serious question? Let's pretend like no one can hear us. What was that cloying reply to Giannis's inability to take a stand?
It was a lot. It was a lot.
He refuses to say, I want to leave.
He can't.
You saw what he said today?
No.
My wife wears the pants in the relationship. Ask her. If she says we can go, then we can. If she says we can't, then we can't. This man, we've passed the Rubicon of where I'm like, at least you try to do it the right way. No, we're well past that shit. This is now becoming super fucking annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Go or don't. But pretending that it's just Milwaukee's fault when, as I mentioned last time, they have laundered generational wealth to this family through his brothers.
It's like it was friends and family plan on the nth degree.
It is, and I guarantee they're all the same cell phone plan because Giannis is apparently a genius. Giannis is like, I got my team to not only pay me but pay them, and they ain't no NBA players.
Nope. I mean, when
not even a little bit.
Pablo to find out, everybody found out. We saw it.
It's there in the box score. DNP, his brothers, Alex and Thanasis. My favorite wrinkle is the year that Thanasis spent in LA because the Lakers are trying to land Giannis.
They're like, come on now.
A little bait. Like, come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Could have worked. But now we've got people like you and other fan bases, Minnesota, Miami, pretending that this isn't what it is. A level of petulance we haven't seen in years, man. Just say you want to go. People respect that. Be a man about it. But because this wishy-washy, like, well, you know, I kind of want to leave, but if they ask me to stay, maybe I'll stay. This can't sit well with you, New York Knicks fan. I know you got to say the right things and toe the right lines, but you don't want this wishy-washy shit on your team, do you? Really?
No, but I want a gentleman whose wife in this forward-thinking world we live in has the opportunity to determine, no, I can't fake it. Like, this is ridiculous. I didn't want to say it to insult him, but this is Aaron Rodgers adjacent in terms of what he's doing.
I hate to step on the trademark of one of the guests of this podcast, but to quote the good man Joel Anderson, some hoe shit. Like, this is ridiculous.
I wish I could fight it, but I need him, so I have to respectfully remove myself from this. I feel like both teams played hard, and you know,
I appreciate your transparency. That man's a journalist, y'all. That's a journalist. So you can't coach your way out of the Hall of Fame. The Hawks are the team that wants to play in the East. Do we believe this Jason Tatum thing is real? Like, is it really like this simple where Boston just like, yeah, we just figured it out. It's cool.
Listen, first thing I saw his first game back, and as someone who tore their Achilles last year, it was painful watching that first game because it was clear he could not. He's like Zoolander. He could not turn right. Like, just couldn't do it because
every game I've watched him play, all I've thought about is you.
Yeah,
because I'm like, man, this Rich has to be watching this.
Yeah.
And I can't to take us through, like, because your time under the injury, like, in my opinion, as a fellow 40-year-old man, it's still my greatest fear that one of these pops. It's the biggest fear I have in my everyday life.
Yeah, I heard Dominique Foxworth talking about that because his co-host wanted to race him in a 40. He's like, no, I'm not doing that.
If I pop an Achilles, it's a
He's
wrap.
like,
You got to
I
take
have
me out
not.
back like a horse, man. Just shoot me.
Yeah, he's like, none of us have gone full speed, like full out sprint. You haven't gone full out since like grade school, like high school, college. Like that's it. Once that's done, that's it. Even as a lineman in college, at some point you didn't need to. You figured out it's just 5 yards and I stop.
Yeah,
You're not running down doing 110s in the middle of a game.
No, you do condo and stuff, but it's not like even that. You're not. It's not. Yeah, you're right. Even like I said about DBs too. Like DBs are never running 40 yards in a straight line as fast as they can. There's turning, there's twisting, there's jostling, there's movement. But like the flat out go sprint, that seems like a great way to tear your Achilles.
Yeah, and it was. It really was. And that's what it was.
Because I knew that's what
Opening up
to you.
and sprinting, because I'm not going to let this kid I've coached for 4 years beat me on a post. And if I would do it again, I would. But again, like you said, I watch Tatum's games, and as a Knicks fan, I hate the Celtics, but I could not help but respect going from that first game to going into the playoffs.
Look,
he's figured out a way to make it work. It's almost like Claire when she messed up her foot on the Cosby Show, where she had like the little like spin move she would do. Like he still can't turn all the way, but he's figured it out.
He's working through the limitations, which is that's the thing. Is he's working through the limitations, but I also think he's gaining trust in it in a way that I didn't expect him to over these 15, 20 games.
Yeah.
It's been, like you said, just again, not a Celtics fan. I'm a good person. But just to watch it from the outside in, it's been kind of like some triumph of the human spirit type shit. It's like, holy shit, this is really objectively cool because this should not be happening. Like this, you tear your Achilles, normal person listening to this podcast, you're going to sit your ass down for a year.
Yep.
You sit your ass down for a year. For other ways to entertain yourself but you will be sitting down for a year.
I'm at a year and 2.5 months. You know how many sprints I've done?
I believe you sprinted your last sprint, my friend.
Done. Like I even get on the treadmill. I'm like, whoa, hey,
don't overstride. Don't fuck around and overstride.
I had a conversation with my manager. She was or my manager's manager. We were talking about potentially doing a 5K, and I was like, "Yeah, I can do a 5K. I'm walking the 5K."
Yeah,
yeah. And she was like, "You don't want to run?" I was like, "That word, like again, late great Chadwick. We do not do that here."
I was trying to think about what would make me like really run, and it'd be my child in danger.
Yeah, that's it. Like at this point, it was when I was a kid. It was walking in Brooklyn. Like if a dog, like we had neighbors that didn't have dogs on the leash, and some of the fences you knew they would hop over if they were just wild in that day. That would be that fear that would make. Now at this point, it's only my kid in danger.
Yeah,
and he's 14, so that better be some imminent danger.
Some real danger.
Some crime alley, grab some pearls, level, slow motion that I got to run to. Other than that, he's a hockey player. If anything, they got to worry about him.
That is very true. How's everything going with the hockey?
Good. He has a national tryout for his age group in May. And then I think we talked about this last time. I'm taking this year off from coaching. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to be dad, watch him. I went to my first meeting and the coach looked at me and he's like, "What are you doing here?" I was like, "I'm not coaching this year." He's like, "All right, so I got somebody who can do my two-a-days for me."
Wait a second.
I was like, absolutely. So that's what hockey coaches and football coaches has. Like 0 dark 30. You got to rendition somebody. You tag in the football coach to do some burpees and some sprints because I'm going to go past what they think on dry land is like, you watch Miracle. And it's like, again. Dry land is really where they get them, like doing wall sits, doing all these things just to get them ready. And I told my son, he's like, he did. Coach did hit him like you did, but he didn't do them as many as you guys would. I was like, "How many times you guys jump off sides?"
Send him to a wrestling room. Send him to a wrestling room for a day. Just let him go to wrestling. Just say, go to a conditioning practice. Not a red flag. Don't go to red flag. We don't want to kill the kid. But go to a practice that's going to be a mainly conditioning practice. And just let him figure it out.
I think he'll have fun with it because for him, from a cardio standpoint, it's wild because he does off-season lacrosse and soccer and basketball.
Okay.
Again, sprint. Me,
yeah.
Watch. When they have the parents versus kids games, referee.
Right.
And
I'm
gonna be that
post.
Yep, I'm gonna be that ref in the post. You got me. It's like I ain't on the side. What you choose?
No. For who? For what?
Right.
For who? For what? To tear it again? Y'all crazy.
No.
Also, let's stay in the East for a second here. I hate to say it, but it looks like it might be Boston's to lose. Like the Cade Cunningham thing, that sucks in Detroit. The Cleveland thing has not come together the way I thought it would. I think the Hawks are interesting, like feisty. Like all joking aside, I think they are a feisty team, and they have been the best team in the NBA after the All-Star break. But I don't know if this group with Quinn Snyder's such a good coach that maybe it works. It is a very damning indictment of Trae Young.
That's all I needed to hear. That's honestly all I needed to hear.
Hold on.
Well, he got to go to Dagobah, and the Green Goblin can live his life.
Stop. Let's do something very clear here. I want to make something very clear. That year that the Hawks did what they did to your boys, it was great because there are no expectations. And I'm a Hawks fan, so there's never expectations. So things like that happening, did it set the franchise back about 5 years by thinking we could do it again with Trae? Yeah, it did. But was that one postseason a lot of fun to talk crash shit to Knicks fans? Yes, it was. And guess what, Rich? It's back.
No,
it's back.
It better not be. I don't need it in life. I had to watch Patrick Mahomes reconstruct his knee. I got to deal with this freaking draft. I can't deal with.
And now it's me. It's me and CJ McCollum.
I don't need to see Cat putting a towel over his face, then having a 1,000-yard stare talking about, I just don't know what my job is in this offense.
I'm so excited to break Cat mentally. He's over under 6 quarters.
I wonder what would break first, your spirit or your body. Pick one with Cat. Like, I love Brunson, he'll be fine.
The predictable turning on Cat of Knicks fans has been just chef's kiss to watch. Yeah. For the record, as an observer and someone who loves funny things, hilarious.
It's once he said that, I was like, what do you mean?
What are we doing? You don't
know what your job is. Like, I can't be on a plane and all of a sudden the pilot pops out. Hey guys, anybody know how to get to Newark?
What am I doing here?
Who are we? What is anything?
Cat, I applaud you expanding your mind, brother. Take some time and understand where you're placed in this great big tapestry of life. Don't let them pigeonhole you into being a post player. You can do whatever you want. You Dominican Cat. You got it, baby.
Get those
Dykeman's finest.
And shut your mouth and hit 2-3. Like, what do you mean? I don't know what my. You see that little dude who's running around like he's got a contract in the rafters on himself? You're supposed to pick for him and then get the ball if one of the other idiots can't make a 3. Like, what do we? And then you got, again, dude gets all this money, trades 3 first-round picks, and he changes his shot right before he gets traded. The trade. Oh, no.
For the record, this was not the matchup when I asked him to the podcast.
It wasn't.
This is the universe loving me and wanting me to be happy. This is what that is.
Oh crap! I mean,
what?
They announced the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and it's like 26 members, and it's insane.
All right, we'll deal with that later. Let's deal with this now. Let's go out west. Rock, paper, scissors out west because the Thunder want no part of the Spurs.
Nope.
The Spurs want no part of the Nuggets, and the Nuggets want no part of the Thunder. And outside of those 3, you got 2018 LeBron and the broken calves.
That's another one where he's showing up. Is Bronny going to play?
Bronny's averaging like 9.7 points a game in the last 14 games. Like, he's in the rotation.
So it's like, Dad, they tell us stories of you. Like, I want to see this. Like, is that what we're gonna get? Like Lion King 2, Simba's Pride? Like, we can't
First
get
of
the
all,
original because I don't want LeBron to die.
Ever reference a direct-to-DVD Disney movie in this podcast again. Second of all, that was a very deep cut. That was wild. Second of all, look, man, like the thing about it is down the stretch, like if the game is stretch it out until we get these boys healthy and back, there's not a better third option I'd ask to do it than LeBron fucking James.
Yes.
Like that's one of the things that like they don't talk about, like building this cheap structure. Your third best player is LeBron James. And like, well, but he can't do it for 82 games. Cool. You didn't do it for 7.
Yep.
Like, and I know it's the Rockets. It's a rangy, defensively oriented team. It's very cool that Tim versus Durant kind of being primary scorers. But like we've seen Luke Kennard, who was on LeBron's AAU team that he sponsored when he started in the league, and like his son, and like you're seeing all these different pieces. And Luka gets back tomorrow from Spain, and we'll see where he is there. And it's just one of those things where it's like, just hold on. It feels like Spider-Man holding back the subway. It's just like, if you can just hold on long enough, helps on the way. I don't know what Austin Reeves' status is, but man, Luka led the league in scoring the first time a Lakers done it since Kobe did it, I believe, in 06, 07. It is a big deal that if you can hold your water with LeBron James in this state, you could actually make some real noise in these playoffs, because you're outside of that. Of course, you're outside of that rock, paper, scissors effect of those big three. But to be able to pick the carcass maybe of one, or to catch someone who's not focused, is this Lakers team, if you get Austin Reeves back, better than the Mavericks team Luka dragged to the finals a couple years ago? Yes, I think it is. The counterpoint is the rest of the West has gotten better too. So am I being a LeBron stan where I think that he could actually affect the outcome in the West? Or is this like two old men agreeing that I can't do it forever, but I can do it long enough?
Listen, the big question, and I thought about this. I didn't know we were going to talk about the NBA, but I've been thinking about this when I saw the tweet or skeed or whatever they call it on Blue Sky. This is the third year in a row the Thunder have gotten the first seed. Those guys are running because they've smoked people. It's kind of inverted of what you think. They've played a little bit more basketball than the average playoff team, but not much really, even considering the finals run. But as we saw last year, you're only one ACL, you're only one Achilles, you're only one hamstring away. And we've seen it with Luka. We've seen it with AR-15. Like there are like they got to be careful, because it isn't going to be your NBA time that catches up with you. It's that AAU time that's catching up. Yeah. And those guys might be younger. That clock's still ticking. So I think LeBron also is, again, to steal another old dude's documentary, this is now LeBron versus time. Because if he could survive and they can survive, and they make the bet that I've gotten past all my injuries and I'm just an old man holding on, are you guys going to be able to go full tilt the way you need to be the OKC Thunder against Groot and whatever they're building in San Antonio? Because listen, Paul, I saw that play where he had a cross-court pass, palmed it, and then threw it again cross-court for another. No, I started speaking Spanish.
He's doing it like 26 minutes a night. They're going to let him run 40 in the playoffs if he has to, guys. Like, you know, like
I don't know if folks understand. I mean, clearly, folks that are used to.
I'm so annoyed. It's so predictable, but it's so true.
They're running the Georgia, like Georgia or Alabama in the heyday. Like by the third quarter, you got freshmen playing, and it's just like, we don't need to stat pad. He's here for the big thing, and so now, yeah, he's going to get a whole 40 minutes. And if he does, God help us all.
Unless it's the Nuggets, apparently.
Right. Because that's, like, again,
the look on his face when he's trying to D up that big doughy boy and he's just dropping jumpers on his face. Like, it's the most defeated I've seen a human being look in a very long time.
Yes. The only time I saw him more defeated was during the Olympics.
Oh, you mean my favorite Wemby moments?
Yeah. When he
watching
tried
Steph Curry, there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, he tried to Monstar Curry, and that picture. If I were a Golden State Warrior fan, actually, I'm an American, or at least a Black American, so I will acknowledge Steph.
Yes.
And that picture, I will have that at some point back there, because that is one of the greatest, scariest. That's like Slender Man getting beat by the little boy from like Malcolm in the Middle.
I've
Like,
said it before and I'll say it again. If that's how it feels to cheer for Steph Curry, I get it, Warriors fans. I too would be a pain in the ass. I too would be fucking insufferable because that was a lot of fun. I was like, oh, this is great. He's on my side. I'm cheering for this. This is fantastic. All right, Rich, you're here. I'm here. We're talking sports. And I can't let you get out of here without talking about the reason we actually became friends originally, beside comic books, that sweet professional wrestling. And we're in the middle, we're kicking off WrestleMania week right now. The go home Raw for WrestleMania is occurring. Before I talk about anything that's happening this coming weekend, I got to talk about Sunday night because AEW held by Dynasty. And because I'm a man with a toddler, of course, didn't pay for it because there's no way I was going to watch it all. I've caught some highlights today. Rich, look, for all the things I've said about AEW in the past, it does feel like they've righted the ship on kind of what they want to be. And no one does a big event like they do because holy shit, the wrestling that happened last night.
Yeah, it was awesome. My personal favorite match was the Ultimate Divorce guy Andrade against Darby Allin. Like, this man had like an inkling the fans would tell him to take his pants off, and most normal people would be like, all right, let me get some tearaway pants, let me get some tights. This dude just had custom made boxer briefs and just stepped out of his pants. And no, like, when I say like every pro wrestler, one of the first things they teach is like have like your regular underwear cinched up. My man was out and free. Like, this was like absurd. Like, sir, this is an Arby's. What are we doing? And Darby Allin, God bless him. Again, when I talk about the sprints in my Achilles, do you think there's a planet I want to fall on some concrete stairs, let alone drop kick someone, which meant I meant to fall on those concrete stairs?
It meant that you threw yourself on the concrete stairs more than anything else. It meant that not only was this the part of the plan, this was the plan. The plan was to throw myself on concrete stairs, and that's why Darby Allin needs to be seen by a psychiatrist. For me, I thought it was a fantastic night of professional wrestling. I thought that it had something for everyone. Again, my criticisms of the product remain my criticisms of the product. Your producers aren't speaking to each other. You're seeing spots repeated throughout those long nights. And also one women's match on the main card.
Yeah.
That's weird. But other than that, obviously, everything to do with MJF is hitting fantastically. Everything doing in the tag division is hitting fantastically. They've got a lot of hits. They got the Okada Takeshita matches coming up that I cannot honestly wait for. They're hot product right now, and it doesn't hurt the fact that the other competition, the distinguished competition, if you will, does not seem to know what they want to be. For those of you who don't watch professional wrestling, fine. But I want to explain something to you really quickly. WrestleMania is their biggest show of the year. They used to travel city to city every year. Now they've taken it to 2 nights. For the first time, correct me if I'm wrong, Rich, for the first time ever, they're going back to back in the same city for WrestleMania. This has resulted in diminishing returns as far as fans' appetite to attend the live event, resulting in some of the lower ticket sales we've ever seen. In an effort to boost ticket sales, now, Rich, you correct me when I step out of line. WWE's parent company, TKO, brought in a former client of their CEO to drive more eyeballs to their product by telling them the product's not worth watching.
Yep.
Also, and I haven't seen a lot of people mentioning this, but I think it needs to be said, this is on the heels of an ESPN deal that they are very unhappy with.
Yeah.
ESPN had immediate buyer's remorse. And I want to point to something I told everyone over 12 years ago now, because that's when the WWE network started. $9.99. Remember those commercials? I told everyone this, and I'm going to repeat myself here because I like repeating myself and because I know I was right. This was never, none of it. The streaming wars, it's not a content play. It's a data play. Because once you're paying for something, now we're capturing all sorts of data about you. your spending habits, your viewing habits, your usage habits. You're paying attention if we fluctuate the price. So when all that data gets packaged and sold to Peacock, they're able to use it and expand their footprint. Then when those rights end, you package the data that's now increased in wealth and breadth because of the time of the partnership. The data you brought in is now more valuable and there's more of it. And now you sell that data to Netflix. But because you've got so much of it and it's so plentiful and valuable, you're also able to sell the same data to ESPN. But what ESPN figured out was, wait a second, this content thing turned into a data thing, and the content's gotten a little weak and stepped on. Because 2 years ago, wrestling was the hottest it's ever been. It was one of the hottest things on the planet. Hottest it had been since 1998. True or false?
True.
And in 2 calendar years, they've cooled the product to a point where they're advertising discounts on Raw for tickets. Now, you know me, Rich. I'd rather talk about anything beyond the business of the business, but I feel like the elephant in the room has just taken up all the rest of the space. What are you seeing as someone who's embroiled in this, someone who's done this for years? What are you hearing? What is the insight? Is there any lesson being learned, or is it going to turn into another creative should have figured it out while the people upstairs kick around and give themselves more money?
Well, there's 3 problems right now for the WWE D-Bomb. First, the greed. So when you switch away from New Orleans and you go back to Las Vegas for a back-to-back that's never been done, as you mentioned, one of the things you should have done was look at a calendar, because the weekend, this coming weekend for WrestleMania is, I don't know if you're aware of this, it's the National Association of Broadcasters Convention. 55,000 broadcasters are coming to Las Vegas, and they've known about that for a year. So in addition to the prices that you've set, there are no hotels. There are no Airbnbs. All the entertainment spots, all the drinking holes, all the regular Joe spots are going to be wiped out. And then you had the audacity, the temerity, the foolhardiness to charge what you charge for WrestleMania. And now you're realizing I charged too much for the brick and I need to drop it. There is no dropping it, because guess what? Thanks to the guy you're aligned with that's currently in the Oval Office, gas prices have skyrocketed, which means flights have skyrocketed. So a flight right now from Pittsburgh to Las Vegas would cost $1,100. Why would I spend $1,100 when I can spend nothing and watch WrestleMania from the comfort of my home
with a VPN? As advertised by Stephanie McMahon on the first episode of her podcast. Thank you, Steph. Thank you, Steph.
And that's it. That's the biggest. So that's the hubris issue, the monetary issue. You also have, as Roman said this evening during Raw, I've never had a punter talk to me crazy, so I don't know what that feels like, referring to CM Punk and Pat McAfee, or as Punk called him, Pat McAfee. And
I still pop for that. I wish
that was awesome.
I like,
and he said it so understated. It was like, what did they? Oh, he did say that. You have the CEO, because I tried, and you would know this from your prior life. I try to explain a lot when I'm at the Torch to folks that William Morris is the WM and WME and and so you have the head of William Morris, one of the best former agents at CAA, coming together to make TKO between Nick Khan and Ari Emanuel. And they are in lockstep in making Pat McAfee the quote-unquote next Sylvester Stallone. And I got to be honest, of all the actors you could have picked, I understand Stallone's under the Paramount umbrella. You could have said like Arnold, like Planet Hollywood existed for a reason. There was one person that was at the front of the line. Like Bruce Willis.
You're defending this in the wrong direction. He's a fucking punter. And like, we can have all the fun we want to have about how cool we think Pat is. He's just doing a program with his friends, and all the bullshit he does, and all the outing and all the rumor mongering he does about young girls for no good fucking reason, and all the MAGA fucking adjacent things he does. You can say all that shit, but guess what? At the end of the fucking day, he's a fucking punter.
And that's where WWE doesn't understand it. For all of the toxic masculinity that they make fun of through Kit Wilson, through all of the stuff they do. Like you see an Obafemi shot putter, he's messing folks up. Brock Lesnar, NCAA wrestler, UFC champion, WWE champion, et cetera, et cetera.
Viking washout.
You said it, not me. Pat McAfee's claim to fame is an onside kick. And I'm supposed to. And Phil Brooks, listen, folks want to hate on CM Punk. You want to call him, like Roman called him a hypocrite this evening and had some footage to prove he was a hypocrite. Roman is the toxic boyfriend like of the year 2020 to 2025. Like he is the perfect person because he'll find your faults and explode on them. And the way he politely brushed Pat aside without even addressing him, he's like, I like Pat, but I never let a punter talk to me that way. And you did. That's it. All I need to say.
Like, and there's one thing to do inside the confines of professional wrestling. Inside the confines of professional wrestling, Pat McAfee's a fantastic character. He is someone who feuded with Adam Cole. He is someone who I've seen do good work inside a steel cage. I saw him get choked out by gunhood. I thought it was a lot more fun than I thought other people thought it was. But like the idea that you're going to take this guy and make him bigger than wrestling by using wrestling to expand his footprint is a slap in the face of the actual wrestlers. Like, yeah, Phil's kind of a joke and Roman is obviously who he is. But guess what? They're carnies in the carny business. The job is to be a carny. The job isn't to use the carny business to elevate your profile somehow bigger than ESPN partner and the only punter whose name you know. But that's what he is. And you can talk about how cool and all his personality. I don't see it, one. Two, we've seen the returns on the investment here. His big announcement is a promo code. Bro, for the counterculture you're trying to anticipate, trying to cultivate by yelling the punter say fuck on ESPN to sell me, here's how you save some money on these tickets. And we can talk about like, oh, the faux edginess of Punk's promo last week. But the cornerstone of that was something that was approved by TKO writers, which said lower the prices. And lo and behold, the prices are lowering.
Oh,
for the record, TKO, because you don't seem to understand pro wrestling, when you sell a thing, that means it has better impact. It's the no sell that actually changes shit. Go ahead. Sorry.
Can I give you a very TKO thing they did with that?
Oh God, I'm already annoyed.
They lowered the lower bowl by, I want to say, call it 800, so that the buy-in price went from 1900 to 1100, and they raised the upper bowl by about 1,000. So
they're trying
the folks
to fill
that need
seats.
to pay, like the cheaper prices went up and the more expensive prices went down like minutely. But it looked good because in that day they sold tickets in the lower bowl.
You know me, I'm the guy who doesn't give a shit about ratings or ticket sales, but every day I open that ticket tracker. What is it called? What's the wrestling, WrestleTix.com? Yeah. Every day I open WrestleTix, and every day I see that line go flat, and every day I smile a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Because you
got to learn.
This is free market capitalism. Cool. The market spoke, motherfucker. Are you going to listen? Now that's the story of WrestleMania for me. Is there a match you're particularly excited for, waiting on over those 2 nights come in Vegas?
I mean, Obafemi, Brock Lesnar.
I mean, look, bro.
That's
acquired, dog.
I mean, that's opening night 2. Those dudes,
it's on free TV?
Yeah, free TV. ESPN. Not ESPN2 like on Saturday. ESPN. Folks are going to be looking at Obafemi. Listen, I said it's going to be like Peter Griffin versus the Chicken. Those dudes are just going to try to kill each other. And I am here for that. I don't want to hear any McAfee announcing on that. I don't want to hear none of that stuff. If anything, bring Booker T up from NXT and let him just go crazy. Or at least bring him up for Trick, because that's the other match I'm looking forward to. Trick Williams, Sami Zayn, talk about it.
Double turn, baby. I'm excited for that. I'm super excited for Obafemi. But you also mentioned the match that I've gotten really excited for, because I think the build has been not even under the radar. It's just been so consistent and good. Stephanie Vaquer and Liv Morgan. Like, I believe these two women are going to tear each other apart. And that's what you want, man. You want to be able to believe that these people are invested in the story. I believe in Brock and Oba. I believe in Stephanie and Liv. Rhea and Jade, I don't believe. Cody and Randy, I wanted to believe. I was believing. Now I don't believe as much. Punk and Roman, I believe. I believe. I do feel like I need to watch whatever happened tonight, but I do feel like that one's getting me closer to believing. But honestly, I feel very unsure. And look, there's other matches that I want to see just from a selfish point of view. Seth Rollins Gunther is going to be a fucking banger. I don't care if the story sucks.
Yeah.
That match is going to be awesome. Whatever they do with the women's tags, is going to be awesome. Don't care. Fight me. Mm-hmm. It's going to be awesome. Becky, AJ. Not my favorite pairing for AJ because I think she has so much chemistry with Bayley, but I get why they're doing this match at WrestleMania. So, going to be a fun match. Going to be a good time. It's just I'm not super excited for Mania in a way that I don't know if it speaks to me, speaks to the build, or speaks to everything around the build. And I think that makes me feel great about the product as a whole. Because if I could say, oh, they didn't build the story, or oh, it's the noise outside the ring, it's both, Rich. And that's making it hard for me to say, yeah, I'm about to set aside X number out, the length of one normal AEW pay-per-view across 2 nights to watch WrestleMania.
And it's funny because when you think about, well played, when you think about WrestleMania, I want to give Tony Khan credit because in prior years, he would have not had Dynasty the week before WrestleMania. And he's gone one step further. He went on social media and used, I believe it was the Jaguars' Instagram to tout the fact that on the 15th, they're announcing a collaboration between AEW and the NFL. Mm-hmm. Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Khan learned to fight back. And so
WrestleMania, to fight back the right way.
The right way, right. Not like, I can't believe, like, you can't be gotten to on TV. You can't
tell them I wasn't mad.
Yeah. Local man angry. You can't do that. But what he can do is this stuff. Leverage the connections you have. Lean into that stuff. WrestleMania's build was not great. They had 6 weeks and they squandered some of it and they said, oh crap, we got to build this card, and then hit fast forward. Now, some of those matches, like you said, we're looking forward to. But I wanted to see Royce Keys at a WrestleMania. He's probably going to be in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal armbar forever. And that's going to be okay. He might win armbar. Great. He's got the big giant dude who used the N-word a lot. And the guy was going in the Hall of Fame this year, had to have him walk outside the bus so he could slap him and tell him never to do it again. And Andre had to like basically deal with it. So yeah, I'm sadly not looking for forward to WrestleMania as much as I am day 3 of the NFL draft. And that is a circle.
Especially as much as we're looking forward to my appearance on MCU later this month to cover episode 7, I believe, of Daredevil Born Again. Very excited to talk all things MCU with you in WH Park. But tell everyone else where they can find the rest of your good internet works, my friend.
Yeah, if you guys got the time, you got the money, or if you just have the interest, you could always find me at the Pro Wrestling Torch. Myself and my editor, publisher, boss, Wade Keller, have a weekly show, Everything with Rich and Wade, where I talk about everything. I try to make the connections between, as we just did, wrestling and the rest of the world, key wrestling stories you might have missed, and everything in between. And then over MCU later, we already talked about. And then every now and again, I'll do a mailbag. But as life has started to get more and more Trey-centric, I've kind of curtailed a lot of my wrestling diet is kind of curtailed to what I need right now. I'm not going to be going too crazy into it because I got shows to watch, books to read, things to do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Always a pleasure having you on. We're going to have you over the summer. We'll get into some of the MCU stuff, talk some Marvel, and hopefully, like I said, just continue to cheer on you and Trey from the sideline, and just excited to see what's next for you guys as I try to take notes on what to do and not to do. I actually wrote down, like my dad book, do not tear Achilles. Looks painful. So I appreciate your sacrifice, my brother. All right, guys, that is a show for the week, or for the day, I should say. We'll be back later this week with Felder Friday. Make sure you check us out across all your platforms. Make sure you subscribe on Spotify, subscribe on iTunes, subscribe everywhere, get your podcast for free $3.99. Subscribe on YouTube. That's right, YouTube. Check out the podcast at UDPod66. That was your show. There is no outro. See you guys later this week.